Herzlich willkommen zum 4. Drittel hier, ja, nach dem Spiel. Ja, also das war ja ein absolutes Chaos, die letzten 20 Minuten insbesondere. Und Simon ist wieder nicht mit dabei. Das liegt daran, dass wir heute auch wieder einen englischsprachigen Gast mit haben, Max Newton. Max, hi, welcome to the fourth period, as we call it. Well, let's start with a really easy question. What the fuck was that? Like, what happened in the last 20 minutes? That was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great way to describe it, crazy. I felt a little guilty taking that penalty, and they scored to make it 3-2. But, we can call it crazy, but at the end of the day, it shows a lot of resilience with our team, and starts on the top with our captain, Alex, and him getting those 2 goals there. And that's true leadership. He wanted to bring us back into that game, and he did. And so all the credit at that point goes to him.
Yeah. That's not the first time. Like, now we actually made the 3 points. Like, we got it done in regular time, but like a lot of, like, that's my observation. A lot of times we go to overtime, and like sometimes that's just my perspective, it's not necessarily that you deserve the win, but you still get it. Like, is that something that goes through your mind, like goes through the locker room as well? Like, to have an answer every time, even in dire situations?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you look at it and we found a way to get 3 points. And just like you said, maybe not every game we play our best. And to be honest, you're not going to have your best every game. And so the fact that we're able to find these ways to get wins is good to look at, and that's at the end of the day what you want to do. You want to win hockey games, but we realize, I think we have a mature enough group that wasn't a perfect game, and we got to find ways to get better and continue to improve throughout the season, to where at the end of the year we're clicking for 60 minutes.
You've been here for like a couple months now, and you're starting to settle in. Like, when you look at the top scorer list, like for us, it's like you, Maddie, Davis Van Dane, John Matsumoto, who is Canadian. Like, he's not German, but jokes aside, like it's all like this group of Canadian players that obviously have the results. And like, how is that, like, how would you describe the locker room in regards of the import players?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Every team has imports, and I think the German guys do a great job of welcoming us in. It's a little bit of an awkward situation coming in. You don't know the language, you don't know the guys, and so the feeling out process takes a while. But once you kind of get to know each other and kind of get a sense of what the team is like, these guys are awesome, and we're joking around in the rink. We're having fun. We're finding ways to mess with each other and just keep it light, because at the end of the day, we're going to be together for 8 months, 9 months, whatever it is. And so if we're serious all the time, and it's going to get old, and so we got to make sure we find ways to have fun, and we've done a great job of that so far.
Who's the class clown in the dressing room? Who is there?
Oh man, there's a few guys. Honestly, I think I wouldn't say I'm a class clown, but I think I get ribbed on the most. I think people like to make fun of me. So whether that's a class clown or not, I don't know. But I seem to be in the center of a lot of things so far, for better or for worse.
I mean, we talked about, like, we had an interview earlier this week, and you said, like, hey, I'm not the best hockey player around. Like, I'm not flashy, but like, what does make your play stand out? Maybe like you have to do something right, because you're the top scorer of the DL2 right now.
Yeah. I think when I'm playing well, the whole unit of 5 is playing well, and so if you look at all my goals and points, like, I'm not going end to end and scoring. It's, we're making plays, we're reading off each other, we're making nice passes, and then someone gets rewarded at the end. And so I think I'm a smart player. That's something I take a lot of pride in, and I want to find myself in a good position and make sure I'm able to read off my line mates and kind of work as a unit of 5, and we've done a great job of that, and I've been rewarded for that, and so I'm obviously happy about that, but yeah, like I said, I mean, maybe I'm, self-deprecating here, like try to push myself down, but it really is a unit of 5 for my success.
I mean, that what for your hockey development, you grew up in Vancouver, and that's like a hot hockey market. There's a lot of competition there, a lot of teams and a lot of leagues. What does that, like growing up in BC and playing hockey there, and I assume on as higher junior levels, what was that growing up, and how does that suit your development?
Yeah, it's interesting. Like hockey or Vancouver hockey is exactly what you said. It's super competitive. I would say I was in that second tier of my association. It kind of goes in terms of skill level to a certain extent, for just to simplify it. But we were the second tier, and so like it wasn't super serious all the time. It was more like, this is, something that we get put into,
and we have fun.
Exactly. Like it was just like, it wasn't like we were going to these crazy tournaments. We weren't paying a ton of money. We were, it was just like, let's play hockey and have fun. And I think that's what really stemmed my development is I was able to kind of progress from there and kind of grow as a player. The biggest thing for me was I went to a high school that was we had a hockey program in the high school. It was just simply skill development, and all my best friends were in that program with me, and that's what I credit a lot of my success to, was I was able to be on the ice that extra 4 times a week instead of just team practices, and so I was able to kind of develop from there.
Like I know that a lot of Canadians, like even hockey players, like especially in high school, the education system and all the sports around, it helps young people get in touch with other sports. What were other sports that you're into, or was it just hockey?
No, I played everything. I played, I played baseball was my biggest second sport. I played that till I was probably, I even played in a men's league with my dad for the last few years, and I played everything. I played volleyball, basketball. I ran track, ran cross country. I basically tried everything. Played soccer as a kid. And, at one point, I basically tried every sport. And baseball and hockey were the 2 that I stuck with for the most part. And I think that's the biggest thing for me is you want to be an athlete. You don't want to just be a hockey player. And so even to this day, I try to play other sports in the summer and keep that kind of hand-eye and all that fun stuff, and just keep it light.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest takeaway. Like sometimes when I look at you guys playing 2-touch before the game, and that's like I do the stadium tours, for example, and like a lot of people, they look at me and like, do they play soccer professionally or hockey? Because like it's so well done, like you keep it like going and going and going. Like for you, like when you look back at your time there in BC, and like you adjusted and went to college after that, like how did that change? Like because like I guess that from that having fun and growing up, like in college you played for Alaska Fairbanks and then Merrimack later, that must have been a little different. That must have been like a little adjustment, eh? Yeah,
at a certain point it becomes a little more serious, and I try to delay that as much as I can. I mentioned it earlier, I just love playing hockey, and that really is my main focus. And so the more you can kind of focus on that passion of the game, it becomes less serious. But, there's things you got to focus on more once you get higher levels, whether it's nutrition or training or all that stuff. So I'm always trying to find ways to get better, trying to improve myself, because, I'm not a perfect player, and so I'm always trying to figure out ways to kind of get to the next level, and so that really started in college, and once you see guys around you that are kind of trying to take that path as well, you kind of learn and feed off of them.
Well, when you were in college, did you take any courses, or was it like how can I imagine that being?
It may be hard to tell, but I actually have 3 degrees.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. I wanted to introduce how you got that.
My schooling route was pretty unique. So I went to Alaska, and I graduated in 3 years with my undergrad in business. And then it got super complicated between going from Alaska to Merrimack, but I ended up getting my master's in business administration from Alaska, and then my master's in communications from Merrimack as well. So I took school pretty seriously, I would say. I just I realized the value at the time. Like I was fortunate enough to have people pay for my school and in terms of scholarship, and so I didn't want to take that for granted. So the schools were awesome about supporting me in that aspect as well, and so I was able to kind of succeed from that.
So administration and communication. So you want to take Pear and my job?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm coming for everyone. Like,
no, it is funny though. Like I have all these degrees and I haven't used any of them for anything yet. So
I mean, if it works like it does, like it's good to have a backup plan in the end. Like you never know how quickly, like, knock on wood, but yeah, you never know. Yeah, that's the thing. Well, there is I guess there's a Max Newton besides hockey as well. Like coming here to Krefeld, it's your second year in Europe. Like how much of Europe and how much maybe of Krefeld were you able to see already, and what is still missing? What are places where you'd like to go?
Yeah, I'm just trying to, I like to just walk around. I'm by myself here right now, and so I'm basically just walking around the city, seeing what's open, seeing what's kind of going on, and that's kind of how I get to know the city, and especially where in the area I live, I'm kind of just checking that spot out. But my parents are coming, and I got a family coming for 2 months, so we're gonna do some more searching and look around and just enjoy the city.
Well, you know the great thing about like when you have someone coming here, like they see the whole area differently than anyone else. Like even like for me, like I'm not from Krefeld, and like I came here to Krefeld, and I was surprised actually how varied like Krefeld can be. You know, you have like have the city center, but you also have like a little rural areas outside. Like how do you think like with a team, like, is there some activities going on besides like practice, or is that something where everyone is like, yeah, we're with my family and
yeah, it's a bit of both. You know, we're gonna get together tonight and enjoy each other's company and have a little fun, but it's hard during the week. You know, everyone's got their own lives, they got their families here, and so they have their own thing. But there's times where we're able to get together and hang out and try to get away from hockey. You know, hockey is such a big part of our lives that when you get away from the rink, you kind of want to try to turn stuff off and just enjoy each other's company and get to know each other away from the rink, which is always nice.
Yeah, it's a Halloween party today, as I understood. Like, it's not dressing, eh? Are you dressed?
Oh, I'm dressing
up.
Oh,
you're dressing up? Oh, what's your costume?
Oh my God, I always forget the name. Why did I just happen? I was talking to my parents yesterday. I always forget. What is it? The redhead that has like a. I forget what it's called. Anyways, it's like a.
Like it or
oh, this is gonna drive me insane. This happened with my parents yesterday.
Well,
I'll think about it.
We'll take a picture. We'll take a picture and
you can put it right here.
Right here.
Right. Now that's what I am. Whatever's right there.
We need it quickly. But for you, like, what was something when you came? Because in Germany, like everyone's like, hey, Halloween is around the corner, but there is not like this Halloween culture actually. Like there are not a lot of kids, like not anymore. But what was when you were back? Were you someone who went trick and treating? Like what was in your bag that went straight out again?
Oh, man,
and what were things that you just ate it right away?
I mean, I'm not a picky candy eater, so there wasn't much I was throwing out. You know, I think it was more just trying to take advantage of what I could get from my sister and steal from her. She's younger than me, so I remember when we were younger, just trying to find things that, you know, maybe I could use my authority as the older brother to steal some of her candy, and you know, it was awesome though. I mean, we had such an awesome neighborhood that we were in, and you're able to kind of go door to door, and you have all your friends with you. It was super fun. Those are memories I obviously look back on.
So is your sister, does she play hockey as well, or is she an athlete or something?
I'm sure she's going to watch this. And, you know, at one point she did play hockey. I think she'll be okay with me saying that she wasn't great, but I think she liked it. I do remember going to every game because I was obsessed with hockey, and she never scored. She never scored. And the one time she did score was the one, like 10 seconds I was out of the building to like go get a snack or something. And so that one hurts a little bit. I always wish I saw that, but no, she's an athlete as well. She didn't play. She did cheerleading, which is kind of her circus stuff. and ran track. That was kind of her main stuff.
Did she do that real cheerleading, or was that more like the dancing?
She's probably gonna hate that I call it cheerleading. It was actually like circus stuff. So her thing was like,
so that was legit.
3 high. Yeah. So she was. It was cool. They did like a show every year, and yeah, no, she's an athlete. She just tries to hide it.
Dein Abfall ist Giganto? Container von Curanto für private und gewerbliche Entsorgung. Einfach online bestellen. Curanto mit C, curanto.de.
I mean, like we had Davis last week, and I think his wife, she played pretty well. So I asked him who would be on his fantasy team, him or his wife. But I guess for you it would be an easier choice there. Yeah. Well, let's look at like the rest, or like we have the quarter of the season now. We're sitting now on the second place in the league. Like from if we had this conversation like 3 or 4 months later, like where would you like to be with the team? Like how would you like to see the team develop?
Yeah, you know, I mean, obviously we want to be in first place. That's I'm sure that's every team's goal. But I think the thing is just getting that consistency. If we're sitting here a few months from now and I can say that we had a consistent 60-minute effort, if that's the case, I can tell you the result will be a win. Because we are a really good team when we want to be. We just have those lapses right now that you know didn't cost us tonight, but have cost us in other games, and so making sure that we can limit those. And we're human at the end of the day. You know, we're going to make mistakes. We're going to have bad games, and but just trying to limit those as much as we can is going to be crucial to us kind of trending upward.
Yeah. Like how much work do you think? Like what's your feeling? Like Thomas Popish, his work, of course, never stops. But like, do you think like days or games like this worry him a little more because like there was, like you just said, there wasn't that 60-minute effort. Like as a coach, I imagine you would like to see like your team, even if they don't play their best, like just have the attitude and have the presence to be there for 60 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a little bit trickier as a coach when you got to win and maybe you weren't happy with the complete effort. But at the same time, I think we have a mature enough team to where we realize that, and we realized that, you know, there was bad parts of our game, but there's also stuff you got to build off of. You know, like I thought our PK was great tonight, and they kind of held us in the game, especially in that second period. And you know, there's guys that had individual efforts that, you know, that's what propelled us to a win. So you kind of got to take the good and bad and be happy with the 3 points. Look at what you can improve on, and realize there's also stuff that we're doing well, and we got to continue to do that.
Well, today what stuck a little out, like we try to have like focus players, like, and it was for today it was the matchup between you and Matthew Santos, having like the first and the second league scorer here, and lo and behold, both of you guys were not shying away from the score sheet today. Like, is that something you look at as well as a player? Like you're like, hey, the second or like another good scorer is here, like. Does that not worry you, but does that occupy your brain?
Normally, I would say no, but Santos is actually a good friend of mine, and we were on the same team last year, and so definitely a little more of a connection. I keep track of what he's doing, and so I definitely knew where he is, and he's obviously a great player and doing well, and so it doesn't worry me, but it's, you know, I know who he is, and I follow him, but. I try not to worry about personal statistics and other guys, but, you know, it's natural as a player to kind of take a look at that stuff and see who's around you. If anyone says they don't look at it, they're lying. But at the end of the day, you just kind of try to play your best game and see what happens from there.
It's like, okay, that Vicey, Vicey scored both on the glove side as well. Like, is that something you look at, like, for you personally or as a team? Like, do you when you're video coaching, like, because I think a lot of people just think like, okay, you have to walk there, you have to skate here, and then somehow it works. But like all goals were on the glove side today. Was that something that you picked out as a weakness with Ilya Sharipov? Or?
Yeah, like our goalie coach Anton does pre-scout on every goalie, and so I don't think that was a key point, but I think the main thing was getting him moving, and so a lot of credit goes to him. He takes the time to make these pre-scouts on every goalie in the league, and so that's not the only way to score on a goalie, but you have that kind of in the back of your head that if you're coming down, you might have where maybe his weaknesses are, and any kind of information you can get as a player is always helpful.
I mean, for me, when back in my days, I think Anton would have said, like, this place like Swiss cheese, like a little holy. Yeah. Oh well, I think we're almost done, eh? Like, and we don't want to keep you away from we have to know what you're wearing. Like, even you don't know, so that's gonna be a double surprise.
Yeah.
Like it's.
I'll make
is
sure
it a movie character?
No,
or
it's what is like the red-headed thing at the end of a rainbow that's like
a leprechaun.
Yeah, that's
Jesus.
the word.
See, also wir haben noch das Rätsels Lösung. Am Ende des Regenbogens war nicht ein Topf Gold, sondern der Now I don't even know what a freaking leprechaun is in German.
Yeah, well, that's not my problem.
Goblin, nicht Goblin. Maxi, was heißt das nochmal? Der rothaarige irische Ding.
Ja, wir wissen alle, was
ein Leprechaun. Ich geb's auf, denn wir sind auch schon am Ende des 4. Drittels angekommen. Max, thank you for taking the time. It was tremendous fun as always. Ich hoffe, euch hat's heute auch wieder gefallen, auch die englische Version. Wir versprechen, also ich klopfe mal auf Holz, wir versprechen auch, dass wir nächste Woche dann wieder mal eine deutsche Version haben, wo Simon und ich das Ganze zusammen machen. Aber ich darf mich auf jeden Fall bei euch dann bedanken für die Aufmerksamkeit. Ja, und wir sehen uns dann am Sonntag hier wieder im Stadion. Bis dann, ciao.